Hey guys, happy Friday night. It's the end of another week, huh? Friday, September 13th. Friday the 13th. Anybody bold enough to go flying today? I wasn't. I was working. Anyway, hope you guys are having a fantastic week and thanks for joining me on the Pilot Jam. We're only going to be here it's going to be I don't know, 3 or 4 hours tops tonight. We should be out of here, no problem. So smoke them if you got them. Put your feet up, relax. I'm just kidding. We're not going to be here 3 or 4 hours. But we have a shocking amount of material tonight. Shocking. I'm shocked. Freddie says, yep, he was in there, and then said bacon. So yep and bacon. It almost sounds like a Tourette's episode, Freddie. You all right, brother? Midwest RC, Tim, man, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. He's fast, but not fast enough. He's like, what was that dude in Talladega Nights, the second driver, Ricky Bobby, his Kyle, was that his name? I forget. He's like our second place driver. Tim, I know you know what I'm talking about, right? FD from Greece is here. How you doing? Sir Trumpington, how you doing? Rhubarb, he says. Freddie ate my hamster. I think there's some drinking going on tonight. I didn't know. If I would have known, I would have come in lubed up a little bit. And look, FD even hit the tip jar. There's definitely some drinking going on. How come I'm the last to know? Why don't you guys share this information with me? I've got a little drink that I like right now. It's that coconut rum and in a Sprite Zero, man. That's a nice fresh mixer. I love it, and it'll wreck you. So I wish I would have known you guys were doing that. And then yeah, Bill Firth of Fifth. Yeah, there's definitely some drink going on, man. Ryan P, how you doing? Fast Freddy, bacon wrapped hamster. That sounds wrong, dude. HB Jeff, Freddy's on top again. Well, that's how Fred rolls. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, Fred's on top again. YouTube took away my like privileges. What? That's because you spam the like button, man. You're only supposed to hit it once. That's it. Freddy sits there and I almost want to say Fred whacks the button, but that just degenerates into ugly. Hello, everyone from France. Boo Boo 0110. He's going to think we're all a bunch of degenerates here. Hobie Kenobi is here. Hobie, we got to give Hobie thanks. Give Hobie a shout out, you guys. He sponsored the freaking channel with an airplane. Now, of course, he's going to take the airplane home. But, he sponsored it, so he sent it up. Dave, he sent it to Dave's place. Dave's going to build it. I'm going to fly it, and I did the first look video. So, Hobie, thanks, man. That was really nice of you, dude, to trust us with your new airplane. That's cool. We'll try to not screw it up. We'll do our very best to treat it right and have some fun with it, whip it around a little bit, give it the old RCVR try. And we'll be careful with it. We'll treat it with a great amount of respect. So we'll have a little fun. And hopefully when we hand it to you, it'll be in perfect condition and ready for you to go fly and have a blast with it. I think it'll be a fun plane. I kind of want one now. I'm not going to lie. I kind of want one. Hobie says, remember to hit the smash like button on the way in. That's right. That's right. Everyone smash it. William Tam is here. How you doing? Dan Griffiths is here. How you doing, my friend? Robert's in the house too. Hey, all lurking and listening at work. Well, at least you can make it this time, Robert. I'm glad to hear that. Fred says, so no bathroom breaks tonight. No, it's going to be the Baton Death March. There will be no breaks. No breaks. Everyone stay seated. No monkey business. All right, let's see. Robert, little chit chat. FL Engineer, if you ain't first, you're last. How you doing, Tim? Man, it's good to see you, my friend. It's been a while. Glad to see you hanging out again with us. Hobie says, jacked up on Mountain Dew. Here's the thing. You guys want to hear something? Everybody grab your seat. I gave up soda. I don't drink soda anymore. I quit. I went and saw the doctor, and he said, stop drinking soda. And I said, okay. So anyway, it's out, man. I've been drinking, and I'm not kidding either. This is my drink. It's all I do is I got that soda stream, and I carbonate my water, and it's carbonated water with a little squirt of that Mio stuff, just a little bit of flavor. That's it, man. That's my drink now. And you know what? After a couple of days, I don't really even care. So whatever. So Tim, man, back in the house. See, Tim, you created a ruckus. Joining us again. Bill says, now that's wacky. Freddie, what? Tim, I think you need to make arrangements to attend Joe Nall with us next time and come to EdgeTX Fest. Hobie says, thanks. It's my pleasure. Always said. Hobie is such a great supporter, man. He is a true fan of the channel. Always trying to help out. I appreciate you, man. I really do. And Photios, thanks again for hitting the tip jar, even though I know you're all drinking. Wowsy, hello. Bob Palmer. How you doing, Bob? Glad you can make it. All right. So that's it for the intros. Before we get into the content, EdgeTX Fest, it's coming soon to a flight field near me. And I hope you guys can join us October 26th, 27th, EdgeTX Fest. It's EdgeTX Crew is coming. They're coming from all over the world. These guys are coming from all over. And they're going to join us, and we're going to have sponsors there. And I'm telling you, man, I'm still getting shipments. You know what I got today? I got an Avanti 90mm, and I'm pretty sure it's a giveaway because FMS didn't tell me they were sending me a second one. So I have 2 Avanti 90mm in my house right now, and I'm pretty darn sure one of them is going to be given away at EdgeTX Fest. And I can't even tell you, man, I got a garage full of airplanes right now. So it just keeps on coming. So FMS been a great sponsor, and I know the radio guys are coming in too. I know we've got stuff from Beta FPV on the way, Radiomaster on the way, BK Hobbies, they're going to be there. They're going to send some servos and bring some T-pilots to show you guys how to fly a helicopter. Fly Sky, they're going to be sponsoring. Hello Radio Sky, and of course Jumper. And I saw the list from Jumper today. It is shocking, the amount of equipment these guys are sending. Man, they're all in, and we're giving it all away. It's all going to be given away. So EdgeTX Fest. Now, I got to warn everybody because I don't want there to be any mistakes about this. This is an AMA sanctioned event, which means if you want to fly, you have to have a current AMA card. You got to bring it with you and show, and then we're going to give you a little pilot brief, then you can go fly. So I hope to see you there. I'll be there. Fred will be there. Dave will be there. We're going to have a good time. It's a 2-day event. I hope you guys block off the time and come and, make the trip if you're not local. It should be a lot of fun, and we have an unbelievable amount of stuff to give away. So that said, EdgeTX Fest right around the corner. Hey, who turned that thing on? Shut up. All right, let's see here. I'm going to check comments, and we're going to get started. Can't make EdgeTX Fest out of town, man. That's sad, Tim. I'm sad to hear that. Not a drop for Fred, he says. Tim's out of town every weekend. There's an event. I know. It seems like that, right? I think he's dodging us or something. Any EFs to give away? You know what, Ryan, I did ask Extreme Flight to come, and they, of course, took my call and said, hey, thanks for the invite, but they already had a commitment, so they're not going to be there. And with that said, I don't know if they'll sponsor us with anything. So, unfortunately, probably not. Probably not. Working, the wife, it's her birthday weekend. Yeah. All right. Let's get into the weekend review. It's kind of short. What you're seeing on the screen right there, we did the Edge 540. I can't wait to fly it. That's all I can say. The Skywing Edge did really well in the shootout. I really thoroughly enjoyed flying that plane. My big gripe with that one was it was hard for me to see, but the plane itself flew fantastic. So I'm looking forward to flying this one. I think it'll be good, and I know that color scheme will be outstanding, and it is just such an attractive plane. I love it. And Extreme Flight, they just continue to impress. One of the jobs when you have a review channel is that you're trying to show, like, my goal is to say, okay, are you doing what you say you're going to do? And you try and show the flaws, but you're not trying to be egregious. Like, you don't want to be mean-spirited about it. But if there's something wrong, you want to say, hey, I don't really like that. That's not quite right. I do that when it comes to ventilation, right? If there's ventilation problems, I'll tell you that. If there's fit and finish, I try and show you that. If there are flight problems, I tell you what they are. But, the job as the reviewer is to kind of find the delta between what they say it will do and what it actually does. And I think that's the value of a review channel. And then, of course, showing you, giving you a video, a very close, detailed look at what you get in the box. That's the other objective with these first look videos, is so you can see exactly what you get, what to expect. And I got to tell you, man, Extreme Flight, they really have got the process wired to ground. The quality of their kits, the quality of their packing. They use the hard outer boxes. They're very rigid. They're double boxed. Everything inside is secure and separated. They use bags for everything. They got padded wing bags, and their assembly, fit and finish. I mean, they're on their game. It's really hard to add value in the review process when you're dealing with planes like the ones you get from Extreme Flight. And we'll talk a little bit about the Skywing stuff too. I want to get into that, and I will touch a little bit on the AJ and some of the others like PA. We'll get into those a little later during Q&A. Anyway, we did the Extreme Flight 85-inch Turbo Bushmaster video and the Extreme Flight 67-inch first look video, the 67-inch Edge 540. Both look spectacular. Dave will be building both of these for us. And one video I didn't do was a 74-inch laser, and instead I gave the plane to Dave, and he'll be putting that one together. So we have the Avanti. So we have like 4 different planes in the pipeline right now. See, when I was doing a lot of the helicopter stuff, the fixed wing guys were like, where's the fixed wing stuff? And I told you got to give the heli guys a little love, man. I do so much fixed wing. I wanted to do something for the heli guys for a while. But I told you there would be fixed wing stuff coming back. You got to, you got to spread it around, man. We're trying to show everybody a little bit of love. And I'm waiting for Hobie to say FPV. So it's coming. I know the quad. He's going to say FPV. All right. Let's see. So that's it for weekend review. And I'm checking comments. Edge is great looking plane. The wings look like wings. Yeah, it's a fantastic looking plane. I'm so excited to fly that plane. It's going to be fun. But I've got so many others in front of it. The Avanti 90mm, that's going to be something. I know those videos are hitting the YouTube right now, but we weren't really supposed to release those yet. They sent out a guidance to the reviewers and said, hey, hold on to it for a little bit until we get our stock situation squared away. So I was a little surprised to see some of those videos hitting, but whatever. I'll put mine out. It'll probably be tomorrow. I expect it to be tomorrow. Anyway, so the Avanti, the laser, the 74-inch laser, and then we'll do the Edge 540 and the Turbo Bushmaster. So lots of stuff coming on the fixed wing side. Lots of it. And I'm going to talk about something special we're going to do on the fixed wing side as well. So you got to hang tight. It's all happening. All right, let's see, our anniversary weekend. I'm really trying to go. If I don't make it, I'm sending something for the giveaway. Well, that'd be nice of you, Robert. Don't send your wife for the giveaway, though, right? She probably would not approve, especially if she wound up with Fred. I mean, Fred's not, you never know, man. Fred would be like, cool, got a wife, got another one. I'm sure. All right, let's see. We think the same. Not that blade, 400. Okay, congrats. How many years? 39 years. Wow, that's impressive. Proud of you, brother. Dang, we just celebrated our 27th, says Fast Freddy. Yep. Okay, let's see. Need to review some pilot planes. Yeah, I know. Pilot's another one that's been out there, and I haven't even gotten around to those guys yet. So yeah, they're interesting, and I actually saw them at Joe Nall. I kind of thought I looked at some of their stuff at Joe Nall. I've thought about it. You're right. I probably should get my hands on some pilot planes. FL Engineer says, yeah, where's the FPV stuff? Quads. It's hanging up in the closet, man. But it hasn't really changed much aside from the DJI, with their dumbass naming conventions on their goggles and upgrading their cameras with they're following the iPhone model, right? They're marginal upgrades. And you kind of got to revamp your fleet. So other than that, there hasn't been much innovation in the quad space. I actually watch it, but I haven't really, other than the HD video stuff, I haven't really seen that much. So I don't know, man. I still like flying the quads, don't get me wrong, but I just haven't seen like a lot of motion. Anyway, okay. Discord, over 2,000 members. That's right. Hey, and by the way, Hobie, those are pruned. I prune those memberships too. So every now and then I'll get in and delete memberships that are stale. They haven't logged in a while. So the 2,000 means they've had some recent activity of some kind. So yeah, get on Discord. We'll talk about that later too, believe it or not. That's a subject for later. All right. That's it for week in review. Let's get on to material. EdgeTX Fest, already covered that. EdgeTX Fest, don't forget, guys. EdgeTX Fest. The developers are making an effort. The sponsors are making an effort. I hope to see some of you there. I hope some of you guys show up. So make sure you make the trip. It'll be worth it. Okay, China Hobbyline batteries. I thought I would start out and show you that China Hobbyline went big. They sent me all of this stuff. And they actually contacted me and said, hey, we'd like you to review some batteries. Would you be willing? And I said, I really don't want to get involved in, I'm kind of hesitant to get involved in battery reviews because there's so much opinion. Like batteries are so subjective in so many different ways that I kind of hesitate doing battery review videos because people have such wildly varying opinions on them. And the other problem is that when it comes to measuring battery performance, it's kind of difficult because there's variability in the system, right? You have variability in things like temperature and the amount of time you spend at full throttle and the amount of time you spend in a hover, and the amount of time you spend doing punch outs versus the amount of time you do touch and goes. same with helicopters. The amount of time you spend hovering versus slamming TikToks, it can really be variable. So doing things like flight time testing, that's a slippery slope. And honestly, I just don't like it because I don't think there's any super consistent way to measure it. So with that, when I talked to them, I said, hey, I'd really be interested in your guidance on parameters. And I'll cover that when I do the video. I'll cover what they gave me. But they didn't give me a whole lot of information. It's basically what we already know. It's like, 3.3 is the floor, 3.8 for storage, 4.2 for peak. That's the same stuff we've been hearing. And I don't think there's anything new there. So here's my plan, just to let you guys know what we're going to do. So I've obviously got some 6L 5000s, 4 of those, some 6L 4000s, 33s, and 22s. So my plan is we're going to make a 12S stick pack and fly the raw and check it against another brand. I'm not going to talk about the other brand. We're just going to check it against another brand. If you know the channel, you know the brand. But, I'm going to give China Hobbyline their due. Okay. Then we've got a couple more 5000s that we'll put in jets. So we're going to fly some EDFs and some 67-inch airplanes. So we'll try those out. Then we've got some airplanes in the 60-inch class that'll take 6L 4000s. And we have some 78-inch planes that can deal with 6S 4000s in series. And we've got some 3.3s that we can put in series for 74-inch airplanes. And we've got some 2.26S that we can put on quads and 420 scale helicopters. So that's the plan. The idea, and that's why I asked them for this arrangement, this distribution of batteries, so we can try them on a whole bunch of different airframes and see what we think. We'll check the flight time against the packs that I've been using, and we'll see how they do. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run each battery through a test on the Hoda, or sorry, not the Hoda, the high-tech AD380 charger, and we're going to graph the curves, and we'll measure the amount of watt hours we put back in. So that's the game plan. I'm going to try and keep it as objective as I can, but I'm just asking you guys, and especially if you see it in comments afterwards, it's really difficult in the flight space to say there's anything you can do in terms of consistency because there's such there's so many variables related to how you fly the thing, how you fly the plane. So I'm really not going to do like a shootout, like this battery versus that battery. What I am going to do is put them in the plane, put them in the model, see if they fly about as long as the other stuff does on average. We'll see how they perform in terms of heat. We'll check the temperature, which I don't really expect much news there. So, we'll just see how they do, see if they're heating up, see if we get any puffing, and we'll check the flight time, and see how they do on flight time and voltage at rest. So that's all I can really do. We'll do the best we can. Where we'll try and get consistent results is on the bench when we do the graphing. That we can at least be consistent and do things like put a consistent load on the battery and say, we pulled this much out, we put this much in, so it's measuring up to its capacity, and it does what it says it's going to do. It makes sense. That's kind of the strategy. Another thing I wanted to do. One thing you got to give China Hobbyline, I mean, their packs probably are some of the coolest looking packs you can buy. I mean, those things look pretty cool. Even though I'm not I don't have pink stuff. I don't have any pink airplanes, but this looks pretty cool, man. I like the white and pink and black. It looks good together. It's a good graphics choice. So as far as batteries go, but here's the other thing I want to do: brand new batteries. So I say this all the time. I tell people, hey, listen, if the battery manufacturer can ship it stored at this level, then you can too. So we're going to take a look at a couple of these. We'll take a look at a couple. So here's the first one. This is the 2200, 6S 2200. And if I can get that to stay plugged in, there's the value, 3.83. This is out of the box from the factory, 3.83. Right? So there's no point in arguing about that. People love to argue about this stuff. All right, we'll check a 4000. These are all 6 cells. Every single one of these are 6 cells. So we'll check that out. And look at that, 3.81. So, 0.2 off from the other one. So a little bit of a delta. But, the pattern obviously is 3.8, right? 3.8, shocking. I just like to show this stuff because people don't think about doing it. Ooh, look, that one's a little bit lower, 3.8. But look how close it is. So perfectly balanced out of the box, 3.8. And then we'll check one of the 5000s and we'll put these away. All right, 6L 5000. And what do we have here? Looks like they went down all across the board, but that one's real close, 3.8, right? The top one's off just a little bit. But there you go, 3.8, man. That's the number. I say that all the time. People, this is a conversation point. Right? People talk about where do you store all the time. And my answer is you do what the manufacturer does. If the manufacturer sends them to you at 3.8, then that's a safe storage voltage. End of story. Because you just don't know they don't know how long they're going to be sitting on the shelf. They don't know. So if in their mind, they're engineers, if they say, and you got to have some engineering to do this. Like if you're going to make this, you got to have some engineering, right? This is not a couple of guys with a science fair kit and a box of shrink wrap. That's not what's going on here. There's definitely some engineering going on here. So if they say 3.8, then I say that's good enough. That's good enough. All right, I'm clearing the desk. I've been trying to talk while I clear, because we have to move on to the next thing. And what happened there? Is that okay? We're going to come to that in just a minute. Let me go back to the desktop and CN China Hobby Line batteries. So look for the video on that. We're going to be doing, there's going to be at least 3 videos. The 3 videos are going to be, one video will be bench testing, one video will be helicopter flying, and one video will be fixed wing flying. So I'm going to do 3 videos on the China Hobby Line batteries. Okay? All right. So keep an eye on the channel for that. It's coming up. Let's see. Judge. Everyone wants to see the Judge again, huh? Maybe we'll bring the Judge back out. I'll see if I have an ESC and a motor that can take it. Robert says, I mark my batteries from 1 to 5 on duration and performance, and that tells me what plane I'm putting them in. Very good. That's another little hot tip. On my airplanes, I've been putting labels on the planes because sometimes I forget which batteries work the best, especially when you go through as many airframes as I do. Sir Trumpington says, speaking of batteries, if recent Samsung devices have the option of only charging 85% instead of maxing out in order to extend battery life cycle, surely this apply to our LiPos too. Of course it does. There is actually a study by MIT. They did a LiPo study, and I can't find it anymore, but I did find it and I read it. Yeah, I know, I get it. So I read it, and what they basically said was, hey, listen, if you, instead of charging to 4.2, if you just charge like 4.15, you can extend your battery life like 70 or 80%, something like that. So for a long time, and I still kind of do, especially if I'm not doing, test videos, if it's just me flying, I set my peak voltage on my charger at 4.15. Why not, right? Who cares if I lose 30 seconds? I don't care. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I get plenty of flight time with my battery, so it's not the problem. All right, Judge, says Hobie. I'll have to see, man. I'll have to see if I think, obviously, the ESC is not a problem. I got to figure out if I can figure out a motor that would work in that one. Okay? All right, Robert agrees. He wants to see the Judge, too. LiPos are different animals. We have a few guys at the field that fly China batteries, okay? If you don't kick them in the nuggets, I'll make a donation to the channel for some batteries. If you don't kick them in the nuggets, I'll make a donation channel for some batteries. I've had some good luck with China Hobby Line. These actually, Hobie, these batteries are actually spoken for already, believe it or not. I've had good luck with China Hobby Line. Where's old chip hide for the pink? I don't follow that one. Storage 3.8 or 3.85. 3.8 is fine. The reality is anywhere between 3.75 and 3.85 is fine. There is no practical difference between 3.75 and 3.85 for storage. So that's why you see some of them come in at 3.75, some at 3.8, some at 3.85. It just kind of depends on the manufacturer. Damn, look at that sexy plane. Yeah, there it is, man. That's Hobie's new plane. There it is. Derek Sater says, what battery checker is that? This one is the ISDT Battery Go BG8S. That's what this one is, the BG8S. You see it? Battery Go BG8S. And that is calibrated, by the way. It's calibrated to my Fluke. So, and don't forget, recalibrate them from time to time. You got to check on these. They drift, right? You guys know that, right? Yeah, this is an ISDT. Okay, let's see. Sinker. Only packs I've killed is China Hobby Line, but keep using them because they're usually cheapest around when on sale. I've heard that. I've heard the China Hobby Line stuff goes on sale, and RC Battery does some good sales too. Like RC, you got to keep an eye on RC Battery. They definitely have some good sales. They run some sales. So let's see. I think that's it on the battery topic. We're going to move on. RC3D. Before I get into RC3D, I forgot to put a subject in for this. So I'm gonna just go back to the batteries. We're going to stick there. I do want to show you this. This is from Dave. Dave found this. And the interesting thing to me about this is that on the Discord, we had some people come in and say, are there any budget helicopter motor options? Because the X-Novas and Ego Drifts and Scorpions, they're a little spendy, and they're not wrong. They are a little spendy. They're expensive, right? They cost money. And Dave, you know, Dave is a value shopper, right? He thinks he does search for value, right? He's not cheap. He'll spend the money, you know, don't get me wrong. He'll put the money into his models, but he looks for value, and sometimes he's pretty clever about it. So he went out and did some reading, and he found this GART. Now, before I unbox it, does anybody know anything about these GART motors? This is a GART brushless helicopter motor. It says brushless for RC systems. I'm curious if anybody knows. I knew the second I saw it, I understood it. GARTmodel.com. He actually bought this on Amazon, and I think the motor was $80 shipped. And when you this is for a 700 class helicopter, and when you compare that to the Ego Drifts and the X-Novas, they're around $3 to $350 depending on what you get and you know what kind of deals you get. So this one he got for $80, brand new. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I know exactly what that is. So no one's commenting. I'm checking. I tried to give you guys some time to see if anybody knew. And I know you're all hitting Google right now trying to figure it out, right? But this is a GART helicopter motor, and any of you heli guys, you're going to know. Like, you're going to know right away. Fred, are you paying attention? I know there are a couple of other heli guys on the, you know, listening. I already know some of you are there. Captain Bry, party on. How you doing, Captain Bry? GART. That's the one. Captain Bry, it's been a while, man. It's good to see you again. All right, here it comes. I'm gonna disclose right now. As soon as you see it, I want to see who gets it right first. Someone in chat is gonna say it right away. They're all rebrands, Hobie. Every one of them is a rebrand. So here it comes. Here comes the unveil. Right? Do I have a drum roll? I do. Here comes the unveil. Sinker got it, man. He was fast. Align. He was on Google. Were you? You can recognize that right away, can't you? That's an Align motor, and it says GART on the box. So this is just more proof that, you know, these are all the stuff is OEM'd. It's all OEM'd. So anyway, Dave found that on Amazon for $80 shipped, and it's a 700 class motor. Now, that said, he's going to put it in the Tron. He's going to put it in the Tron 700, and I can tell you, I've only had like, what is it, 2 Aligns? I had an Align 300 and an Align 580 or something like that, a 550 combo, 570 combo, something like that. And I recognize the color scheme immediately. This is the Align color scheme. It's the same color red, same chrome. It's the same freaking motor. This is what Align used. Now, of course, they laser etched this one. It says GART up top there. It's an HF700L 530 kV. I've seen GART motors on AliExpress, but never got the nerve to order one. Dave's going to fly it, man. We're going to find out. Dave's going to be the guinea pig. He's going to be the guinea pig. So we'll find out. He's going to try it, and we'll see. You can see there's a flat spot for the pinion right there. The flat spot does not go all the way to the top, so if you have one of the ones that requires a flat spot down at the bottom, you might have to do that yourself, but it's not hard to grind one in. You just put it in a baggie, you know, put a baggie in there, grind it away, and it's easy. It's no big deal. So anyway, there it is, GART motor. Thanks, Dave, for sharing. So we're gonna, I'll do a little B-roll video on this, and then we'll see how he does when he puts it in the air. We'll include the B-roll when he puts it in the air on his Tron 7. So GART motors, $80. For those of you on Discord who are asking, now you know. So if you guys want to find that thread and ask, here, I'll tell you what, before I put it away, someone grab a screenshot of this thing and stick it in the heli channel. Say, hey, John did a first look kind of video on it. Looks fine. You know, I did inspect it. I don't see any issues inside. The wiring is flexible. It's got a nice boot right there. You know, you can't tell until you fly him though. Everything looks fine. I don't see any issues with the motor. So if you guys want to, someone grab a screenshot and put that in the helicopter channel. GART motor, discount $80 for a 700 class motor. There you go. Anyway, some of you guys were asking, I thought I'd share. And Dave wanted to share too. He wanted to share the knowledge and let you guys know he's working on it. He's going to get that Tron 7 going. So GART motor, helicopter motors. we'll see. We'll see what happens. I can tell you on the lines that I've flown, I didn't have any problems with the motor. And I can also tell you, I forget the guy's name. Someone will put it in chat. I think it's Alan. Is it Alan Zabo or something like that? He's a sponsored Align pilot, and the dude is exceptional. And he definitely punishes Align motors. There's no doubt about it. He definitely punishes them. So I think his name is Alan. Let's see. Sinker says the only reason I guess Align is because they used to make a 450 clone. Yeah. I'm sure I'm sure they're all the same. They're coming from the same factory. Okay, that's it on that stuff. RC3D. I told you guys last time I got away from. I said I got to the end of the internet on the RC3D stuff. And why does that thing? What the heck is going on? Who's pressing the buttons around this place? All right, got it. We'll post Discord. Thanks, Hobie. So RC3D, I thought I would do. I was kind of out there scanning, looking at the Thingiverse and checking things out, and I saw a couple things that what got me started was the gimbal protectors. So I started with that, and these are designed for the sticky 360 gimbal stick ends, the 360s, and they fit on there just right. They slide in there. That's a 3D print. Isn't that cool? RC3D, man. I freaking love. Now I've used these before. But these were designed for the 360 stick ends. And I never printed them in white before, and it actually looks really good on this radio because you got the white, it's black and white, right? So it looks really cool. And I thought, man, I wonder, it's Alan, right? I got it right. It's Alan. So I printed those and I thought, man, I like the black and white. It's kind of a nice look. When I first printed these, I thought I just printed whatever I had in there. I have a bamboo printer with 4 colors. But the white was loaded and it was fed in. So I'm like, fine, just print it in white. I didn't care. And when I put them on there, I thought, well, that actually looks pretty cool. I like that. So I thought, I wonder what else I can find for the radio in white. And I found that guy. Isn't that cool? This is on Thingiverse. And this is a TX16S Mark II. And it's got the right fittings. You'll notice there's a little slot right there. That's for the little rubber cover. I removed mine. I hate those damn things. So I removed mine. And that's what that little slot is for. There's a USB-C cable, the audio cable, the 2 screw holes, and your antenna. It pops in there, and this is fully functional. It moves around. I can aim the antenna. It's got the stoppers in there, so it stops there, right? It's fully functional. Isn't that cool? So you can print that. Now, I struggle with this one a little bit. I wound up printing it with this side. So it's got an arc. You can see there's an arc right there. So I wound up printing it with the arc facing down. So in other words, just like that on the print table. And that wound up putting a lot of support material on the bottom because it's not flat. There's some screw standoffs that go below this level right here. They go below there. So you wind up with a lot of support material, but it doesn't really matter. You just got to pluck it out of there. And it doesn't matter how clean it is because all you really have to do is make sure it can sit flush against the radio. That's all you've got to do. So like in this area right here, it doesn't matter if you've got a little extra support in there. It just doesn't hurt anything. So anyway, that's that one. And then I thought, I wonder what else there is. And I found that guy and decided, oh, I'm going to print that too. So there is a battery cover, or sorry, a bay cover. That's the module bay cover. And you can see it even prints with the Radiomaster logo right there. So, just some options out there. I probably won't leave mine like this. I did this for you guys to show you, to give you an idea of what you can do. 3D printing, you can print these. See? Isn't that cool? That just sits on there. You latch that one in, and then you've got the white antenna cover, and you got the little gimbal protectors. RC3D, man. Isn't that great? I love it. So you can print in different colors. You can print in different materials. You can try all kinds of different stuff. This is Bamboo A1 PETG. And I think it's cool. RC3D. RC3D, man. That's where it's at. A lot of fun. That's it on RC3D tonight. I thought I'll just go ahead and leave this out. I think that's the end of that. But RC3D, man, Thingiverse. Check it out. You can find all kinds of cool stuff for your radio. And if you kept your box, the box the TX16S comes in, you can also print handles for the box, handles and a latch. So you can use your box to carry the radio to the field. All right. Anyway, that's it for RC3D, and we're cruising right along here. Okay, Runcam 2. All right, next up. this guy. I told you it was coming. So this will be another video, another sponsored video. So Runcam sent me this. This is the Runcam Thumb 2. I have not yet done a side-by-side comparison on the old Runcam Thumb versus this one, but I'm going to tell you guys right now I have a strategy. My strategy is I'm going to strap this to a plane. I'm going to strap this to a 3D plane, and I'm going to run it on a 3D plane. So this is Runcam Thumb 2. It's a 4K camera. You know, we were talking last weekend about overheating and all that. I'm going to test it. So this one includes, you know, the power connectors if you want to power it. It's got the PWM connector so you can turn it on and off with your radio. They did include this little 3D printed mount. I slid it on there. I'm not going to try and slide it off because honestly, it's really tight. And then the other thing I'll show you guys too, I thought they needed to maybe do a little bit more work on this, but when you put that on there, you can, I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me turn this box over. That'll highlight it. You see how the ears kind of stick out? Like it's not quite right. Now they did give it a screw, so you can put a screw in and squeeze it, and I guess it'll keep it pretty, you know, pretty rigid. But Runcam Thumb 2, I'm gonna strap this to an airplane and fly it, and we're gonna do some tumbling with it, and I'm gonna see how many of you guys I can get to puke on a 3D flight. So we'll see what happens. But thanks to Runcam for sending it. I told you it was coming. I'm gonna test this one and we'll see how it does. What I really care about, what I really want to see is it's an action camera, so I want to know, will it stay powered on? That's what I want to know. I'm sure the video is gonna be fine. I'm sure the video won't be a problem. I'm sure it'll be good quality video, but I wanted to let you guys know it's here and we're gonna test it, man. I'm gonna put it through its paces. We're gonna see what's going on with it. Let's see. You guys aren't too talkative right now. A little cheaper on Alley for the motors. Dave's not here. Nope, Dave's not here. And okay, we're having a little fun. All right, Radiomaster Nomad. Told you we had a lot of content tonight. This will be another sponsored video. This is by Radiomaster. And I know these videos are out there hitting. I just haven't had time, you know, to fly this week at all. So the Radiomaster Nomad, I have it. I'm going to put it in a radio. I might put it on one of the quads. Maybe I might do some quad testing with it. I'm not exactly sure. The receiver has I think it's a 20x20 form factor, and it's got the little ball mounts. So it's meant to be mounted. This is like meant to be quad mounted. And right now I don't think I have any 20x20 stacks. So I have to think about this one. I might have to make a mounting mechanism for this, which is no big deal. I know how to make that kind of stuff. But this is the Nomad, and you can tell this is the dual channel, because when you look at the antennas, you see how that's got just the one active element. That's the 2.4 gigahertz. And then this one has got this active element right here. That's the 900 megahertz, right? So another 2.4, another 900. So dual antenna, dual band. That's the Radiomaster Nomad. I'll be sticking that in my radio and doing some flying with it, see how it works. I'll also be doing some configuration videos. So we'll put it, you know, I'll connect it to Expresslrs. You know, we'll flash it, we'll test it. I got to make sure that the software is available in Expresslrs. We'll also flash this one. I'll show you how that works, and we'll go through a configuration. So we'll do some material on this. It's coming. Hang tight. It's coming. We're going to dig in. I know a lot of the channels, they show you, they test it, and they're like, oh, look, it flies. Yeah, of course it flies. We already know it's going to fly. That's not the problem. The problem is, how do you use it? And that's what we do on this channel. I'll show you how to use it. Okay? All right, Radiomaster Nomad. That's coming up too. I told you, man, a lot of content. Let's see. There's some 20x20 to 30-30 stack adapters. Oh, yeah, Thingiverse. Yeah, I'm sure that'd be a good idea. Love my TX16S. Great video. Cheers from New Zealand. Thanks, Simon. Appreciate it. I love the TX16S, man. That's a great radio. There's room for improvement. I have high hopes for what comes up next. Most of it revolves around moving the screen up. I already know the CPU is going to be faster and making the audio a lot louder. So if they can solve those problems and make that screen even brighter, then we'll really have something on the radio next time. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with that CPU. The new CPU is really going to be something else. I've already seen there's some footage out there in the wild. They're showing how the CPU reacts and how fast it is. It's insanely stupid fast. It's going to really change things on this radio. Watch. You'll see. You'll see. Trust me. All right. fun with GitHub. Okay, we're gonna do a practical session next. So it's time to study, boys. And before I do, I wanted to take a moment and say thanks to my patrons. Their names scroll up there on the top right there. And the reason I do that is because those guys, I put that banner up there just to put their names in lights. There's Sir Trumpington right there. There's Sir Trumpington. He's a patron, and he's on the live stream right now. The reason I do that is just to give them a little, a moment in the spotlight to say thank you. I appreciate you guys for supporting the channel. It's because of people like you that I'm able to do some of the material I do. Like it's how I get the equipment and the radios. Oh, by the way, I have 2 new chargers coming tomorrow too. Tomorrow, of course they couldn't make it in time for the PilotJam, right? But they'll be here tomorrow, and we'll do videos on those too. So it's because of these folks, right, that help out. They help contribute to the channel, and they help enable me to do the videos, make the content, show you guys how how all this different hardware works, and I appreciate you guys. So I just wanted to say thanks, and a special thanks to the 2 newest, Bob J and Tom D. They just signed up this week, so I appreciate you guys. Thank you. And for all of you who've been around for a while, I'm not like AT&T. I appreciate you guys too. Appreciate it. I'm not sure if it's a faster CPU is going to make me a better pilot. No, I'm sure it will not. I'm sure it will not. Every little bit helps, Hobie. Idiot Sniff says, Trump 2024. Woo, that's a third rail, all of that stuff. Okay, we're going to do fun with GitHub. Fun with GitHub. Time. No, I'm not going to say that thing about learning. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something. How's that? I don't want to steal anyone's tagline. Your money, your hobby. That's my tagline. All right, go fly something. That's my tagline. All right, let's get into the workspace. I want to clear up my desktop just a little bit here, and we're going to go to the workspace. And there it is. There's the workspace, the inevitable. It's time to do some work. The reason I wanted to poke around a little bit in here to show you guys some stuff. So there were, at least this week in comments, I saw at least 2 different questions that were asking about, and I'm trying, you guys see my mouse moving. I'm trying to move my streamer software. There we go. There were 2 different questions this week about operations on the SD card on EdgeTX, and at least 2 that I saw. And I wanted to kind of do a little bit of a deep dive in the GitHub. So if you Google EdgeTX GitHub, it'll be the first link. So go look at the GitHub. And the reason what I want to show you guys is a little bit about the SD card structure. So what's cool about the GitHub is that it's a really good reference if you know how to look around. So the EdgeTX project page, that's right here. We're on that. And you notice how they have this thing called pinned right here. So that's a reflection of the different projects or sets of material involved in the overall project. Right here, EdgeTX, that relates to the binary stuff. So that's why you come over here and you see releases. And when you click on the releases, you can scroll down and you will see the firmware and the companion versions for the different platforms: Linux, OS X, OS X, that's Mac, Win32, Win64, and the firmware, EdgeTX firmware v2.10.4, and all the source code. So this is GitHub. So that's one place, right? That's the EdgeTX firmware project. Now, another one that I wanted to show you, because this is the one that came up, is the SD card. If you ever want to know what's going on with your SD card, one thing you can do is come to the project, come to EdgeTX, get on the GitHub, and look. You can click on the SD card, and when you do that, don't be afraid. This is like a file browser. You can't hurt anything in here, right? And click on this little SD card right here. If you click on that, then you'll see over here a 480 by 272. That's a Radiomaster TX16S screen. So if you click on that, look at this. Lo and behold, this is the content of the SD card, right? This is what EdgeTX needs to operate. Now, of course, there are more things, right? Radio, for example, models, for example, but the radio will make these. The radio will make those folders. But in order for EdgeTX to work, you need this minimally. And if you look at scripts, look how we've got functions, mixes, presets, tools. Why am I showing you this? The reason I'm showing you this is because you can see the default structure. If you look right up here, you can see here's my radio, and then from there, this represents the root of the radio, and now that's a root folder, and that's the subfolder inside the root. So if you want to know things like where do my scripts go, you simply need to come here and you can look and see the SD card structure that the radio requires. That makes sense? So I just wanted you guys to think about the GitHub a little bit, and don't be afraid to get in here and look around. You can't hurt anything, right? You can't hurt anything. So there's the SD card context. You can look at sounds. If you want to see the arrangement of sounds on the card, the default arrangement of sounds, you can do that. Here are the different language packs. Here are the different voices. Here's the English folder. And you can just poke around and see how things are supposed to be arranged, right? So that's a GitHub. Don't be afraid to get in there and look, right? There's neat stuff in here. There's the buddy setup, the sound file, the Lua reference guide. You want to see what they're doing on the Lua side. It's fun to go in there and poke around and see what's going on. So that was a little bit of a learning thing. And I did that, again, mainly because there were at least a handful of questions this week. It's weird how it works, but there were a handful of questions this week on SD card structure and where does this go and how does that work. So I thought I would just kind of show you guys where you can find information about like the default layouts for things. All right. So 480 by 320, if you got one of those radios, that's the format. That'll help you. Okay. All right. That's it for the EdgeTX GitHub. It wasn't too bad, right? That wasn't too bad. Just trying to show you guys, if you don't know, if you're not familiar with these things, how you can learn and figure things out on your own, right? Yeah, that's the idea. What's that old saying? Give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime, right? That's the idea. Okay. Let's see. I'm checking comments here every little bit. Hobie, okay, seriously, I'm sure when you get that plane back to your club, the old boys are all going to be fanboys. Oh, you know they will, man. That Bushmaster is going to be fun. I want one. I think I want the white and blue one. Fast Freddy says they're making it harder and harder to put the blame on equipment after a crash. Yeah, with the radio, the dual channel, man, that's true, right? Because you got dual freak and dual antenna. So yeah, that's true. Okay, that's it. Looks like just chit chat other than that. So let's get on with the material. Q&A, that's next. All right, Blackboard. Hey, look at this. I was scripted. I was ready. I wanted to show you guys something. I think I've mentioned before that I've been working on the network and doing upgrades. And with my new fiber internet, I have 2 gigs up and 2 gigs down. And when I upload, so what I'm showing you on the screen right now is a copy from my NAS server to my desktop. And I got a whopping 1.9. It's 2 gigabits of throughput copying from my NAS to my desktop. And what's humorous about that, so that's pretty fast. Like that's pretty quick. It's not as fast as it can be. It's as fast as my hardware can be, but there's actually 10 gig Ethernet out there now. But the reason I'm showing this to you is because my uplink is also 2 gigs. So what's hilarious to me now is when I upload a video to YouTube, it used to be I'd start an upload and then I'd go get a drink. I'd start working on the thumbnail. I'd write the description. I'd put the title in. I'd do the, arrangement of the cards at the end of the video. And then, 20 minutes later, the video is done, right? That's just how it worked. Now with this 2 gig fiber upload, by the time I start the upload and by the time I load up my thumbnail editor, the upload is normally done. It's like copying a file on the LAN. It's just insane. So I love it. The speed is nuts, and we've been cruising along. I'm uploading right now with the 4K stream at 34 megabits per second, and it's not even registering with my LAN. So I've just been having fun with it. Bandwidth. I love bandwidth. I'm a bandwidth junkie, and it's been working. So I'm going to give a little plug to Summit Broadband. Summit Broadband in the Orlando area, they've been pretty freaking solid. I tested a lot because I switched providers, and they have been just crushing it. It's 2 gigs down, 2 gigs up, and it's holding up, man. It's holding water. So I've been really, really impressed with it. Summit Broadband, man. I got to give them props. 2 gigs. And what's hilarious to me, it's cheaper than my old cable subscription. My cable subscription, I was getting 800 megs down, 25 megs up. So I'm getting almost 100 times faster than that now. And it's less money. So I got to give Summit props, man. My speeds are dramatically improved, and I'm paying less, so I'm happy with that. I just wanted to share. Okay, because that's kind of cool. I'm a bandwidth junkie. What can I say? What can I tell you? I don't know what to say. I love bandwidth. I love it when stuff is super fast on the network. All right, let's get into the Q&A. Supposedly 100 milliwatt telemetry instead of 10. The beauty with the Nomad Hobie is you can run 900 or 2.4 or both together. There you go. Beautiful. All right. Well, first comment up, it's just speak of the devil. Robert's in there in the chat. Robert's all over the place, man. He's chatting up a storm in the chat, and he got one of the first comments on the Q&A. Kind of like 3D planes, but dang, that color scheme is so freaking awesome. I think they hit this one out of the park. I'm going to be honest. I'm really looking forward to the making of this one. Great video, John. Thanks. You're welcome, Robert. And I agree, man. This airplane looks really good. I think it's one of their better efforts. And I'd love to see like a refresh, and they don't have to be the jaggy look, you know, but I think a refresh is due. And I know Extreme Flight's working on it. I'd like to see it with Skywing too. Skywing's got some good stuff. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but I'd love to see a refresh on Skywing graphics, you know. Okay. Next up, here we go. I told you we'd be talking about it. I told you earlier in the video and just a moment ago. Thoughts on Extreme Flight versus Skywing. In economics, there's this principle called equitable substitutes, and that's how I'd characterize Extreme Flight and Skywing. It's not, to me, Extreme Flight and Skywing is not a question of quality. It's simply a question of characteristics. That's it. That's as simple as I can put it. Both planes, both models, you know, both manufacturers have excellent construction techniques. They go together well. They look great. The materials they use to cover look fantastic. They're very rigid airplanes. You know, some people swear by Skywing. I've really enjoyed flying the Skywing planes I have. I mean, I love my ARS 300. I love my laser, my red and white Skywing 67-inch laser. Fantastic airplane. The Edge 540 was fantastic. So they're good. They're really good. And Extreme Flight, you know how I feel about Extreme Flight. I've got a hangar full of their stuff. I've got the 85-inch extra NG. I've got the 73-inch slick. That's actually going to be sold, but I've had it. You know, the Skywing just makes a good product. They're really good. And Extreme Flight, also very good. I say it comes down to characteristics because that's the honest truth with all of these airplanes. Every one of them has a different personality. It's just like your kids, right? They're all your kids, but they're all different, aren't they? That's how airplanes are. They're all a little different. Yeah, they're yours. You know, they're all Extreme Flight, whatever, you know, but they all have different personalities. And that's really what it comes down to on these planes is finding the one that works for you, that works the best for you. And I can tell you guys right now, among my favorites are the laser and the ARS. The laser, the Extreme Flight laser, the Skywing laser, and the ARS, those are really good. The extra NG, the Extreme Flight extra NG, also really good. But it's just something about the laser. I just get along with that plane and the ARS. So anyway, equitable substitutes. That's my answer. It's about characteristics. So you won't go wrong with either one, in my opinion. Oh, and I said I would talk about some others too, and I wanted to do that. AJ, you know, obviously super high quality, right? The guy's a world champion. He knows how to design a plane. He's got a little bit of a different design language. You got to give him that. But the man knows how to design a plane, right? And he tests them and he flies them and his team flies them. So AJ, super good quality stuff, obviously. And then Pilot RC, that was mentioned earlier in the stream. They're really good. And Precision Aerobatics. You know, Precision Aerobatics, they're nuanced. Like, when it comes to quality, they have super high quality stuff, but they also do some proprietary stuff. Like on Extreme Flight or Precision Aerobatics, it's tough to find motor substitutes. They really kind of push you into using their motors, and it's the way they're designed, and it's fine. You know, that's their gig, whatever. But I personally prefer having the ability to choose my own motor. I prefer that. And on PA, it's a little bit more challenging, but just the way they arrange the motor box and the cowls, it's a little more difficult to do that. I'm not saying impossible. I'm just saying it's harder. And they also have some proprietary construction techniques. Like, for example, on PA, they have you fiberglass the motor box, right? Where the motor framework connects to the firewall, they have you fiberglass that. And it's no big deal to do, but it just takes time. You know, it's just one of those things that takes time to do. So little extra effort on the PA stuff. And then the other issue I have with PA is they're super light. Like, they're so maniacal about the weight that while it certainly lends itself well to, flying with, say, smaller batteries and stuff like that, that's good. But on a windy day like we have in Florida, they're not a lot of fun to fly because they really get flung around a lot. So that's why I kind of gravitate to extreme flight, because they're not as maniacal about the weight, and yet they still get amazing flight characteristics out of them. And so what? If it takes a bigger battery, I don't really care. I bought the batteries. I got them. So after that, the extreme flight planes just fly spectacular. So anyway, Pilot RC, I have zero experience, but I know they're well regarded. So I kind of should do Pilot RC stuff. But anyway, that's that stratosphere, right? That's that grouping of manufacturers in the balsa space that is what I would call top shelf, right? PA, really good, but very different characteristics. Pilot, I really don't have firsthand experience, so I can't comment, although I understand, I've heard that they're well regarded. And then, of course, Extreme Flight and Skywing, all excellent. So equitable substitutes. I think for the price of the Nomad, if you ever needed 900, it's there, but you can still fly it on 2.4 ELRS. Yeah, that's true. Except one thing, Robert, is the antennas too. So I'll go back to the desktop for just a second. That's one of the areas where I struggle with the Nomad a little bit, is the dual antennas, because when you put that on the back, it's like it's not that big of a deal, but I'm just pointing it out. Like that, there's a lot going on there now between the internal and the external. So what I envision, and I don't know, I have zero inside information, but I'm just guessing what I'd like to see is an internal Nomad module with a internal 2.4 and external 900, or vice versa, internal 900 and external 2.4. That'd be cool. So dual frequencies with antennas inside, then you'd have my attention. I think that'd be good. But anyway, we'll get back to the blackboard. Okay, thoughts on Extreme Flight versus Skywing. You can't go wrong with either one. Equitable substitutes. Economic term. Check it out. Anthrax says, thanks for the fixed wing issue. On Windows 10, the standard driver wouldn't work. The programmer fixed the issue. Weirdly, on my Mac, it just works fine. There's a lot of Mac beaters out there, and I'm going to tell you right now, one thing that's weird about Mac, when you have software that works, the drivers, you normally don't have driver issues. So when it comes to Macs, you normally can just plug stuff in and it works. So the radio, the TX16S, for example, you don't need a driver. On Windows, you do. Windows, you got to fart around with drivers. Sometimes. I can tell you on my recent install, I had to install a driver. So that's why I made the video. That's why it's there. But, one of the cool things about Mac and Linux, by the way, you tend not to need the drivers. That said, a lot of software out there does not work on Apple Silicon. So just throwing that out there, which is why I keep that little QB unit with a remote desktop handy in case I have software that does not work on a Mac. So if you're in radio controlled, it's really not a great idea to be Mac only. I'd recommend you look into something like a QB and set up a remote desktop. So anyway, just throwing that out there. For those of you who are Mac bashers, I like Mac. Bite me. All right, let's see. Wayne Miller says, off topic, hoping the T-Motor 780 is available soon. So really interesting stuff with T-Motor. So I think I mentioned last week, T-Motor went dark. Like I've been talking, I did the videos. AM 600, awesome. AM 670, awesome. AM 780, awesome. All great. The ESC's fantastic. So they contacted me after I did the AM 780 and they're like, hey, we've got some new motors coming. We want to send one to you. Which one would you like? And I told them. And then they went dark for like 4 months. And it was, we talked about it last weekend, right? That whole DOJ thing that went on. So oddly enough, I don't know, maybe they're watching my videos. They contacted me this week and they're like, hey, we've been out of pocket. Good to talk with you again. We still want to send you the motor, but you can't make a video because we don't know when we're going to release it. Oh, and by the way, we revised the motor. So I really don't know what the heck is going on. Bottom line is, I said, fine, if you want to send me the motor, I'll take it. I'll fly it. I'll do some long-term testing. I'll do some video, and then I'll wait for you to tell me when to release it. So T-Motor, I don't really know. Like I'm not getting the spirit of full disclosure here. I guess that's the best way to put it. I'm not getting the spirit of full disclosure, although they're not gone. So all I can say is that I will be doing evidently a T-Motor video for a bigger than 78-inch motor at some point when they send it without going dark again. We'll see. But in terms of when the video gets released, I really don't know, because they said, yeah, we're not sure exactly when we're going to release that. And that may be all due to that DOJ stuff. It may be. I don't know. I just don't know. So Wayne says, hey man, hoping that 780 is available. Yeah, I know. I get it. It's a great motor. I'd love to see those bigger motors released out in the wild. That'd be awesome. As you know, I'm a big fan of competition, man. I want to see them out there. Keeps prices under control. So anyway, I wish I could give you more, but I can't. I guess when I get the T-Motor motor, I'll tell you I got it, and Dave will see it, and anyone at the field will see it. But we'll go fly it, and we'll do the video, and I'll have to wait for T-Motor to tell me when I can release it. So that's that. All right, Jerry Gunn, he says, thanks for solving my problem with channel 5 on my receiver. The reason I put this one up is because this is another one that I keep getting questions on. Like Captain Bry, you're here, man. This channel 5 thing, God bless, man. It's like the single biggest question I get on Expresslrs over years, like 2 years. Everybody's got questions about this channel 5 because fixed wing guys, they don't get it. Like it's not a thing, right? We don't have arming on fixed wing if you're not flying a computer, right? So I don't know what's going to ever happen with this channel 5 thing, but man, it just never dies. It doesn't matter how many videos I make on it. People still come in and ask questions about it. But anyway, channel 5, listen, if you're flying Expresslrs, I'm just going to boil the ocean down to one thing for you. If you're flying Expresslrs on fixed wing and you're not using a computer like iNav, just go ahead and use 16 divided by 2, 333 hertz, and go fly your plane. Use channel 5 however you want to use it. Okay? Let's just boil it down to that. So I really hope at some point there's a rethink on this whole channel 5 thing, because in my opinion, it is the single biggest Achilles heel for Expresslrs. The channel 5 aux 1, I know why they do it. I don't need it explained to me. I understand it. But for fixed wing people, it's simply not necessary. For helicopter people, well, on rotor flight, it is. On rotor flight, because rotor flight is an iNav branch, so it is. You got to have that arming feature on rotor flight, so it is necessary there. It's necessary on beta flight. It's necessary on iNav, but for everybody else in the world, they don't care. So if you're flying fixed wing and you're not using an iNav, or let me say a flight controller that has its origins in beta flight, clean flight, beta flight, then don't worry about it. Put it on 333 hertz, 16 divided by 2, go fly your plane. All right, you got 16 proportional channels, and call it a day. And don't worry about it. Captain Bry, make it go away, man. 4 eyes, I will literally stab you. I'm coming through the screen right at you, man. Jeez, smart ass. Okay, let's see. Next. Jay Largo, my kind of plane and FPV gear, add FPV gear, and we're having fun. Hobie, there it is. Hobie's here. He saw the comment from Jay. Jay loves FPV. I know Hobie loves FPV. I'm kind of hoping we can talk Hobie into doing some FPV with the Bushmaster. I think it'd be fun. Let's do some FPV with that, man. That'd be a hoot. It'd be a great plane to do it too, I think. Oh, wait, wrong screen. Hold on, what happened there? All right, I don't know. There's a monkey behind the screens clicking my buttons here. All right, let's see. Malcolm, he says, so if this happens in your house, is it best to leave it alone or try and cover in sand? He's asking questions about the batteries and the battery burning. So if this happens in your house, my answer is there's no way to put out a LiPo fire. It has to burn out. And if there is a way to put it out, you don't have the chemicals to do it. So my answer would be try and get it out of the house, because if you're there and you see it, get it out of the house. You use a broom handle, use a wire hanger, do whatever you got to do. Get it the hell out of the house if it catches on fire, because you're not gonna be able to stop it. Or try and cover in sand. Like, this is why, what do you mean cover in sand? Do you have sand sitting around inside your house? Do you have a bucket of sand in your house? Maybe some people do. I don't know. But, if I had a fire, I don't think I'd want to dump a bucket of sand over my desk and, try to put out a fire. I'd just take the battery outside, get it out of the house. That's what I would do. But, I also think the fire thing is overrated, to be perfectly blunt. It's one of those topics. We did it, and lots of people have opinions about this one. Again, everyone's about, oh, don't touch the smoke. You don't know you're going to get burned. You shouldn't do that, but they should all be in their own bags, blah, 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 blah. Everyone's got a point of view. I think it's all nonsense. To be perfectly honest with you, my answer was don't ever charge above 4.2 and always balance charge. Don't ever discharge below 3.0 ever. And if you do, your battery's degraded. 3.3 is the bare minimum if you're flying. After that, you should set your ESC cutoff to land. And then when you're flying the plane, 3.6. 3.6 should be your cutoff point. When you hit 3.6 during flight, land the plane, land the model, right? Those are my numbers. So 3.0, you're doing damage. 3.3, absolute floor. 3.6, land the plane. 3.8, store it. 4.2, peak charge. 4.15, extend your battery life. That's it. And if you do that and balance charge and put them in storage when you're done using them, your batteries are going to last a very long time. And 1C charge rates, and honor the discharge rate. Okay, whatever the discharge rate, if it's 10C, 20C, 30C, honor that. And your battery should last for a pretty good long time. And this whole fire thing, I think the reason it happens is because people introduce faulty parallel boards, they use faulty wiring, or they charge without balance charging. I almost guarantee you that's a culprit here. And that's why my call out to the battery industry, the charger industry, would be take the standard charge profile out of the LiPo profile and make it a standalone thing with a warning. Say, hey, we'll let you do this without balancing, but don't use this profile as you're sitting here watching the battery, and don't let anything get above, 4.2 volts or really 4 volts. Because if you're at 4 volts, then it's time to put it on a balance charger. But see, it's hard to train people on this stuff, right? It's hard to do it. This is one of the reasons I don't want to do battery videos, because people, man, I know the comments are going to be off the chain. All right, Peter says, great clip. If you have any free time, can you explain how to program a mix for a paraglider? See, that you guys think I'm kidding, right? I say this all the time. It doesn't matter how many mixed videos. I have 19 mixed videos. 19. It doesn't matter how many mixed videos I make. Somebody is going to come in and say, but how do you mix this? I'm not doing any more mix videos, all right? My answer here is go watch the mix videos and learn the technique to mix. Once you learn the technique to mix, I don't care what you want to mix. It doesn't matter. You can mix your elbow to your knee. You can mix your left ear to your right toe. It doesn't matter. Learn the technique to mix. And this, by the way, I'm going to hammer on the freaking model wizard again. EdgeTX developers, if you're there, please kill the damn wizard. Please, for the love of Pete, please kill the wizard. I know that the reason they do it is to make it more approachable, but we're not helping anybody. We're just simply not helping anybody. It's bad medicine, right? It's bad medicine to come from Spectrum and learn EdgeTX. If you're used to Spectrum, you're used to Futaba, and you're unwilling to learn, it's bad medicine to say, pick up an EdgeTX radio and learn to program it, because those are the kids that don't want to take their medicine, right? They're like, no, I'm not taking that. I'm not putting take your freaking medicine. Learn to program your radio, put that wizard away, delete it, erase the damn thing, make them install it on their own. Just get rid of the wizard. I hate the wizard because people come in all the time. I have a comment. We're going to talk about it in a minute. If you don't know what you're doing on this radio, a wizard is nothing more than a crutch. And I know why they do it. It's to make it accessible. I get it. It's to make it approachable. I understand, but delete it. Delete it. If you're going to fly and use this radio, grow up, cowboy up to the bar, watch the videos, invest a few hours of your time watching training videos and learn how to program the damn radio. I'm so tired of hearing about it. Learn to program the radio, turn the wizard off, get rid of the wizard. And then same thing with mixes. I'm not doing any more mix videos. I did 19 of them. Go watch the videos that teach you how to create mixes. And if you just watch 1 or 2 of those videos, you'll be like, oh, I see what's going on here. And you'll be able to mix anything. It's just one of these questions, man. I'm not going to spoon feed. I'm not. Where's Robert? Robert, come on, man. You got to put your comment in. Robert's the one that taught me that. I'm not spoon feeding. I'll do the videos, teach you how to do stuff, but man, come on. You want to mix a paraglider? Do I look like I fly a paraglider? I mean, what the hell? Mix your own paraglider. But watch the videos. They'll teach you, right? Just learn how to do it. Same thing with the wizard. Delete the wizard, please. EdgeTX developers, please, 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 please delete the wizard. Get rid of the wizard. Oh, and yeah, we'll talk about that. Okay, what would your thoughts be on using a 6,000, 7,000? So this is an honest question. And this is another one. I get this all the time. This is another one, and I know I got to have respect for money, right? This is the problem. The problem comes down to money. And people look at these airplanes and the batteries and they're like, yeah, that's expensive. I've got these batteries. I don't have those batteries. Let me put it this way. if you have the budget, like if you have the budget, buy the battery and just get over it. Like I can't even tell you, for the longest time, I used to try and fit my airplanes into my batteries. And eventually I just gave up. I said, enough is enough. I'm tired of screwing around with this. So I bought 3300s, 4000s, 5000s, 6000s, 2200s, 2400s. I've got them all. So what I'm telling you guys is if money is not the object, buy the batteries. Stop trying to force an issue, right? Just get them. Get the series. It's kind of like having a drill index, right? Let me ask you a question. If you do woodworking, would you own a drill index that only had 3 bits when you have a case for 12? No, you wouldn't. And the same thing goes with flying these planes. You don't go out and fly all these different style planes without getting the right batteries. So just get the right tool for the job. Now, if money is an issue, then you've got to be creative, right? If the budget's an issue and you don't have the funding to do it, I get that. I do understand that. I've been fortunate because YouTube and patrons, they help me, and my sponsors, they all help me with this stuff, right? So I know it's expensive, but what I would say is that I would rather get one good 67-inch ARS 300 and 3 or 4 of the batteries, 2 or 3 of the batteries I need to fly it, than to have 2 airplanes and the wrong batteries. You see what I'm saying? So I would, and my answer to this gentleman, Kandashow, was, I'm sure the airplane will haul the battery. It will haul the battery. There's no doubt in my mind the plane will fly the battery. But will that give you the performance characteristics in flight that you want? And my answer to that is, when I have the correct battery in the ARS 300, and I believe it's a 6S 4000, when I have that battery in there, that plane flies amazing. And sure, I could put a 5000 in, I could put a 6000 in. It would not fly the same way. You're going to change things, right? It's still going to fly. And sure, you're going to still be able to do some tricks. If you're not a skilled 3D pilot and you can't do, the advanced 3D stuff, and you just want to fly circles and do loops and rolls, which, hey, fine. I'm not being judgmental, right? It's your money, your hobby. If that makes you happy, God bless you, go do it. So if that's what you're doing and you want to put a bigger battery in, go ahead. But if you want to get the maximum performance out of the plane, then do what the plane needs, right? So put the right battery in it. And so my answer to you guys is, go get the right battery for the model. And if you're going to be experimenting with different planes, if you're going to look at 60s, 67s, 78s, 85s, 91s, just go buy the batteries, man. Just bite the bullet. 1 month instead of, buying an airplane, go buy the batteries instead. And you'll be much happier for it. I promise you. Just buy the batteries. Okay. It does make a difference. I used to be there, guys. I did the same thing. I know the mindset. Like, oh, I don't want to spend the money. But if you do, then it's never a problem. You get whatever you want, and you got the stuff you need to fly. So for me, I do at least 2 3300s, 2 4000s, 2 5000s. That's just what I keep, at least. I have more than that, but I'm just saying minimally, that's what I have. And if it's something I'm going to be flying in series, like if I'm doing 3300 in series for a 74-inch, then I get 4. Then I have 2 sets that I can go back and forth on. Okay. All right. Let's see. I can't pronounce the name. What does that say? Mizael? I'll go with Mizael. So I use the wizard. Oh, the wizard. I use the wizard. See, this is why the wizard pisses me off. I use the wizard, set up my receiver, AETR format. My plane started up, wide open throttle, and controls were all wrong. Almost had a terrible accident. What could be wrong? The user is what's wrong. So first off, everything in that first sentence told me everything, or first 2 sentences told me everything I needed to know. Number 1, if you're using a wizard, you're a novice. If you're using a novice and you're going to power up a plane on the bench, take off your prop. Okay? Let's start with that. Take off your prop, and then you don't need to worry about terrible accidents. So that's number 1. You have to be better than this, and take off your prop, because if not, you're going to hurt somebody. You're going to hurt yourself. You're going to hurt someone. What if you flew that plane into your kid's face, right? And I got news for you. Even if you do know what you're doing, take off the prop. The only time I experiment with my radios and having the prop on the plane is if I'm in a room by myself, I aim the plane away from me, I put a death grip on the wing spar, and then I plug the battery in and grab that wing spar and hold on for dear life, like I assume it's going to take off. That's the only time I ever do that inside. Outside, if I'm at a flight station and I've got the plane on the bench and I have someone like Dave nearby and I can say, hey, Dave, hold that tail for me, then I'll monkey around a little bit, okay? But other than that, the props come off. There's a guy who comes into my YouTube channel on the live stream from time to time. His handle on YouTube is called Props Off. This is the smartest guy on YouTube. Take your damn props off before you start screwing with your plane, okay? Please. This is common sense, man. Take your props off. Okay, that's point number one. Point number two, AETR format, he plugs it in, plane takes off. I know instantly what this problem is. Oh, and he's using an AR620RX for, oh God. So he's using Spectrum spec crap stuff on. So I know the problem is he didn't do channel mapping or he's in mode 1. That's the problem. So I've seen that, you know, I've done it myself where I plugged in, I can't figure out why is my elevator not working. You know, I can't figure it out. Why my, you know, throttle's not working. Why is the elevator not working? It's because the radio defaults to mode 1, also super annoying. It should default to mode 2 in my opinion, but we're not the only ones on the planet flying planes, I guess, whatever. But mode 2, make sure you put it, if you're, you know, mode 2 flyer, make sure you put it in mode 2. And then take your prop off, okay? And then you'll figure it out from there. And you might, if you're running Spectrum, and you know, I got to be honest, I don't even care. I'm not even going to waste my time on Spectrum. Stop using Spectrum stuff with Radiomaster. Just get Expresslrs, man. Join the get modern. You know, stop using Spectrum. All right, let's see. I think that's it on that one. I beat that to death. But guys, be safe, man. Take those props off. It's not funny. You're going to hurt yourself. Someone's going to get hurt, man. Take those props off when you're monkeying around with your planes. If you take the props off, you're taking the teeth off the plane, right? It's not really going to hurt you after that. All right. Let's see. Bruce says, beyond catastrophic failure, hope you can help. TX16, blah, blah, blah. Already lost me. Get on Discord, man. If you're going to write, see how I look at that. This is called, in the Navy, I used to hunt submarines and I used to fly around in helicopters. And one of the things we had to do was what they called site recognition. Site recognition meant we had to, and I think a lot of guys in the Navy had to do this, not just me. I think the surface guys did, the sub guys did. I'm sure everyone had to do it. But site recognition was where you'd look at a shadow of a ship and you'd have to call out what it was. You'd have to say, that's a Soviet whatever, or that's a, you know, Turkish freighter, or that's an Italian frigate, you know, whatever. You had to call this stuff out. So I look at a question like this and site recognition kicks in. Beyond catastrophic failure, hope you can help. All right, I'm on high alert. TX16S backed up, attempted updating, wasn't successful, loaded from, I stopped reading right there. So first off, get on Discord. I'm not going to answer this question on YouTube. Get on Discord. And you guys that are on Discord that know, thank you. I really appreciate you because I see it. I see you doing it. I know who's doing it, and I really appreciate those of you who step in and help out. So, you know, guys, don't write novels on YouTube and ask for help. It's not the platform for it. And I would just encourage you, get on Discord if you need help like this. All right, this is way too complex of a subject. This problem that's being described, I'm not even going to finish reading it. Get on Discord. Get on Discord. You got to get on Discord for help for this kind of stuff. That's that. And that's the end of the Q&A. Thanks, Hobie, for putting Discord link in. Let me check comments real quick. Me Wizard hated kids. Mr. Wizard was my favorite show as a kid. Shame. Good analogy. Pinball does count. Okay, where we're at. 1 6S 4000 to 5000. You got, so Kajuta, you've got 1 6S 4000 to 5000 LiPo battery. Is that a 4500 or what is that? 4 eyes or 2 3S. Yeah, see, that's what I used to do, 4 eyes. I used to combine stuff, but it gets really annoying, man. Especially if you're in a plane that's not designed for running in series, and then it's really a pain in the neck. Precision Aerobatics did that. The 2200s, I couldn't put them side by side in the bay. I had to run them off set with two different straps. Ugh, just super annoying. Just rather get a 6S and call it a day. Robert says, now you got to bring the kid to the hospital and you lose all your flying time. I hope you're happy. Yeah, there you go. I watched it also. We only get so many days to fly. Shouldn't have brought the kids anyways. Explain that one to doctor when he asked what happened. 90% of people only have lose a finger once to learn. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Fred says 90% of the people only have to lose a finger one time to learn. Yeah, and it hurts too, man. The last time I got hit by a prop, I was doing a hand launch and the prop got me, right there on a hand launch. I didn't throw, didn't throw hard enough, and it did bite me and it hurt. So Freddie says, I had one heli incident. It was me messing around with the TX. Yep, there you go. Sorry, I was confirming your statement about what batteries. Oh, it's 4 to 5. Okay, 4 to 5K. 3300s for 74 inches too. I do use 3300s on 74s. And I've actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think I've seen recommendations to use 3300 in series on 78s too. So the bottom line for me is that I just don't monkey around, man. Just get them. You get, depending on what you're going to fly, 3300s, 4000s, 5000s, you should be pretty well set. All right. Okay. All right. Kajuda, thanks for clarifying. Appreciate it. All right. That's it for Q&A. Now we are on to 60. Oh, he's saying 4 to 5K for the RS. Yeah, I think I fly mine on the 4K. I'm pretty sure that's where I want mine. All right. That's where I fly most of my 67s, 4K. Okay, let's see. We're on to coming up. Okay, man, I was super prepared tonight. Look at that. It says coming up, no PJ. So next weekend, I'm going to the beach. So no PJ. No pilot jam next weekend. We'll get together the weekend after. Let's see. Let's clarify that for dates. Let's see. Just to be clear. So next weekend is the 21st, or sorry, Friday will be the 20th. No PJ on the 20th. The next PJ will be the 27th. I do that for Fred because even though I spell that out for Fred, he'll call me a day later and go, are we doing a PJ on the 20th? Like, we covered that. So yeah, no PJ on the 20th. We'll get together on the 27th. All right. So coming up. And then, okay. So in terms of other videos, I think I covered a lot of it. Got a Runcam test to do. We've got an Avani 90mm. That's going to happen tomorrow. We've got some China Hobby line testing to do. And we've got a 74-inch laser coming up. We've got an Edge 540 laser coming up. There's a lot heading our way. A great deal of stuff heading our way. And, oh, the Nomad. Got to do a little testing with the Nomad and see how that does. So a lot of material on the way in, guys. We got a lot of material. It's going to be a busy couple of weeks, I am traveling next week, so I'm just warning you all ahead of time. It's going to be light on the videos next week, so I'm traveling for work. Can't help it, If I have 60 to 70% of my viewers aren't subscribed, if you guys would subscribe and watch, watch the videos, then the revenue goes up, and maybe one day I'll be able to quit my job. But for now, I got to work. So day job, that's going to take me out of town. Got to do a little bit of work. So won't be doing too much in terms of content next week. I do expect to get some content done this weekend. So the Avanti should be done. Maybe the Runcam video will be done. Maybe some China Hobby Line videos will get done before the weekend hits. So keep an eye on the channel. That's all I can say. It will be a busy couple of weeks. There is material out there for sure. Got content. Oh, and I got the chargers. Chargers inbound as well. 2 new chargers. New to me anyway. So that's what's coming up. And with that, I don't see anything else in the comments, which means we're at the end of the Pilot Jam. I hope you guys had a fun time tonight. I know I had a fun time interacting and hanging out with you guys. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. I know all you people up north, you better get out there and start flying because, man, it's coming to an end. What do we have here? Let's check. Let's check. I want to see what's happening here. I have a widget. And we're going to check 8 days left in fall, 8 days, 8 days in fall, 8 days left in summer until fall. So 8 days until fall starts. And then Christmas, we are coming up on Christmas, guys. 101 days until Christmas. See, it goes so fast, man. It's crazy. I hope you enjoyed the Pilot Jam for tonight. I hope you get out there and fly something this weekend. Have a fantastic evening. Go fly something.